In today's slop, Tim Dillon clowns on the UFC White House event and calls it the end of MAGA. And I'm just like, can it also be the end of Joe Rogan too? I'm saying please, pretty please. I mean, one can hope, right?
The MAGA movement, the party that Donald Trump threw when he walked down the escalator, is ending. And I think it ended with that UFC fight. I think that was the last party MAGA was going to throw. You had motocross, you had UFC fights. That was a fun party, but it's the final. I think it's the final party.
All my fears of the weather getting in the way of the fights were null. It didn't mean anything. And then there was this long sort of ceremonial thing where they had jets fly over and, they played music and all this different stuff. So by the time we got to the actual fights, dark out, perfect. The weather was perfect.
The MAGA movement's final party was the octagon on the White House lawn. That seems to be a fitting symbol of the finale of the MAGA movement. As a cultural force, that was the most fun. It's not going to get more fun than that. Take a look at that. Take a look at this. Is it going to get more fun than that? You've got the flyover, the jet. Yeah, there it is. This is it. You're not going to top this as a party goes. You are not going to top UFC on the White House lawn. For the die-hard MAGA people, this is what they got. They were promised a lot of other stuff. But this is what they got.
That was the wildest experience that I've ever had in my 20 whatever years of calling combat sports. There's nothing even close. Nothing even close. It was the greatest night of fights of all time.
Rogan is going down with MAGA. I mean, Trump has reached historical new lows at the poll, yet Rogan is still cucking for him. This man was recently suited and booted at Trump's birthday party, the UFC White House event. He went against his will. He was terrified of a possible terrorist attack. He also believed that there's a lot of health implications for the fighters. He believed that there's going to be a weather delay, which there was, a 45-minute one. And now he is out here forced to dispel any bad narrative regarding the UFC White House event. What a cuck. What a cuck. And you know what? Rogan is going to go down with the ship. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, Rogan's best friends already jumped off the ship. Tim Dillon, Andrew Schultz, amongst others from the Rogan sphere. Look, Tim Dillon was on the ship. He saw the iceberg right ahead of the ship, and he was just like, dude, we got to go. We got to go. He grabbed Rogan. He grabbed Andrew Schultz. They jumped off. You know what I mean? They're floating in the Atlantic Ocean. They got lucky. They saw the raft right there. Anyways, enough with that dumbass story. But it's true. Tim Dillon, Andrew Schultz, amongst others, already jumped off ship. They saw the writing on the wall. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Anyways, yesterday on his podcast, Tim Dillon pretty much called out the UFC White House event, Donald Trump, Dana White. He omitted Joe Rogan's name. But come on now. Rogan was a big, big part in this fight.
This is the party that they got. And some of them were there in person. People made the pilgrimage. Some of them watched it, streamed it. Yeah, play some more. Give us that one right there. What a great, there it is. I want you to look at this very closely. This is kind of the finale of MAG. This is what it is. Take it away. There it goes. Yeah. There it is. Dana White, Trump. I mean, listen. As finales go, this was pretty big. This is a spectacular, what are you going to do? You can't top UFC on the White House lawn. And then one guy comes out and goes, Michelle Obama's a man.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Could it get better than that for these people? This was the finale. This is the penultimate conclusion of MAGA. It's a UFC fight on a White House lawn with motocross, and then one of the fighters goes, by the way, do you want to say anything? And he goes, Michelle Obama's a man. And that is the finale. But they don't know it yet. Here's the thing. They don't know it yet. In the same way that when Hollywood did that Imagine video, they had no idea that they were on their way to being like irrelevant and hated.
Mind you, Rogan has still yet to denounce that fighter's atrocious, vile, stupid, dumbass remarks regarding Michelle Obama. Rogan even had a recent pod detailing and reviewing the overall White House experience, yet he still did not say anything about this Michelle Obama thing. He actually was receiving some flack, and rightfully so, on the internet regarding him being silent and allowing the fighter to say that buffoonery out there. Also, I'm going to show you more clips. In his recent pods, like, he switched up big time. He's out here stating, oh my God, it's the best experience of my life. I couldn't, you know what I mean? It was one of the best fights ever. He kept saying that. Yet before the fight, this man was having a panic attack every single time it was brought up in his pod.
It's DC and hot as fuck.
And then you add the
I'm
light.
going to be stuck sitting in that spot for 6 hours calling fights. How are you going to stop the bugs? I just think it should be inside an air-conditioned arena. Build a roof. Like, you've got all the money in the world.
Do you like the concept of it or no?
I do not like it.
Americans, Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier.
It is such a scene. It's so surreal. It's so amazing. The energy is in the air. We're outside.
But Rogan switched up so hard. He even lied, saying that there's about 150 million people or so that watched this event. Even though there's 79 million people only on Paramount Plus, which is the only streaming service that showed this freaking dumbass fight to begin with. So this man's out here lying for the current Trump admin. I mean, in general, this man he speaks and lies. We know this. But I just can't help but think how people in his own space, like Tim Dillon, are clearly viewing this as the downfall of MAGA, which the downfall already started when Trump got into office in his second term. But, Also, Rogan just dropped a pod with the fighters who were actually fighting at the White House event. And he started off that pod saying this, he won't stop glazing this event.
Congratulations on one of the most epic accomplishments in the history of combat sports, and that's not an understatement. I mean, it might be an understatement. I mean, it's not an overstatement. It's perfect. That was one of the greatest nights I've ever experienced of watching anything in my life. It was amazing. And to have you cap it off and win the title when you're facing a guy that everybody thought was at least number 2 pound for pound.
So yeah, Rogan's long gone. He's been long gone. We know this. And Tim Dillon is no innocent person either. Tim Dillon played his part in this current atrocity that we find ourselves in. However, Tim Dillon has been ruthlessly mocking a Trump admin, not for months, for over about a year now. Since last summer, since the 7-day war in Iran last year. Tim Dillon is good at navigating and just getting the overall vibes of the room. He saw this turning out how it is now regarding the overall Trump admin being a complete and utter total disaster. And I can't help but wonder, with this current MAGA is over and how the UFC White House event was a complete and utter travesty, and Joe Rogan being one of the biggest focal points of that fight, was his remarks directly correlated to Joe Rogan? I don't think so. Joe Rogan gave him a huge platform, and that's how Tim Dillon got big. But, I can't help but wonder, because now this shot right here regarding the UFC White House event, also Tim Dillon is known for making fun of these tech oligarchs. There's a clear disconnect there. And, Rogan, we know this, but Rogan listens to Tim Dillon's podcast every Saturday while sitting on his dumb stool. And Rogan is a billionaire puppet. He pretty much does propaganda for the billionaires, the elites, the Epstein class. Tim Dillon routinely mocks the two spaces that Rogan is in, MAGA and Trump and these tech oligarchs. I'm just saying, I don't think nothing's going to come out of it. I don't trust neither of them, but just food for thought.
Because as much as people hate Trump and hate his decisions and hate what he's doing and hate how he talks, my experiences with him personally have always been fun, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately for everybody else. If he likes you and you're on his good side, he's a fun guy to be around.
Yeah.
He says a lot of fun shit. The fucking man loves America. He genuinely does. He really does. He wants to make the White House look better. He wants to build this ballroom because he has good intentions in terms of America. It's just, there is not a single fucking person that's ever taken the job of the president of the United States that's loved by everybody.
Yeah.
But his the issues that he's having right now is a lot of the stuff that is going on in this country is contrary to what people voted for.
Regarding, Rogan still being not even a cuck. Like, is there something lower? Rogan still being a dog for the current admin, which he is. Every single day, I feel like I read atrocities like this. And like today, Trump basically blurted out, "You won't even make it back to your effing country," in regards to him negotiating with Iran. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is also coming from one of the guys who claims it's one of the best negotiators of all time. Like, shut the fuck. Anyways, Trump recently saying that he loves inflation, which is freaking crazy. Trump pretty much having the entire global economy in a chokehold over this illegal and offensive war in Iran. This war in Iran being one of the most historically opposed wars in U.S. history. Gas prices going through the roof. I can go on and on and on. But the fact that he's still, Rogan, continuing to be one of those top tier sycophants to the Trump admin, you just lost completely. You are no longer in touch with reality. You're not, So yeah, just a quick little video on this. I don't think anything's going to come out of this. Tim Dillon has been shitting on tech oligarchs for years. Rogan hasn't said anything about it. As a matter of fact, Tim Dillon has been shitting on these tech oligarchs in front of Joe Rogan on his pod. Rogan always pushes back, but this is the first time that Tim Dillon shitted on a MAGA event, which Joe Rogan took a huge part of. And I definitely see how can you be Rogan right now and not read the room when your best friends are jumping ship and you're still remaining there? How? I don't get it. What is going on here? Are you compromised? You have to be. You know what I mean? I'm done, dude. I'm over here just getting pissed. It's a state propaganda show. We know this. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Peace, y'all.